Okay people, here's another basic algorithm scripting finders keepers. Let's try this one out. As always, I like to throw these in here, bring them all into REPL because I like to work with the REPL better. So what does it say? Create a function. Okay, that's the function, find element, that looks through an array, the first argument, and returns the first element in the array that passes a truth test, which is the second argument. Okay, if no element passes the test, return undefined. Okay, so create a function that looks through the array. Looks through the array certainly sounds like loop through the array, so let's just make a simple loop, or a standard loop. Let I equal 0, I is less than array.length, I plus plus. Okay, and then what are we gonna do? Okay, so we're looping through the array now. So now we want to test, alright, this function here. This func is whatever we plug in here, right? So here they're giving us a little function. This is an arrow function, right? That takes in a number and tells you whether or not it's even, right? Because you're doing the, what do you call this thing? Returns whether or not there's a remainder. I forget what they call it. Anyway, so we need to run each item through this function. So to run a function, you call the function like this, but we're going to give it, it needs to have a number inserted in it. So the number goes in here. Our number is each element of the array. So we're looping through the array. To access each element of the array, you do array and then the element, right? So let's, what does that do for us? Nothing, undefined, because we didn't tell it to give us anything, right? Function array. Let's just see what's this. Alright, what does that give us? Ooh, console laugh. Huh, you guys must have been laughing at me. Oh, that's even worse joke. False, true, false, true. Okay, so like I said, this is basically testing whether your number is even or not, right? So that makes sense. Not even, even, not even, even. So this is working, this, so to speak. This function is doing what we want it to do. So we want to do, okay, it returns the first element in the array that passes. So the first one's going to pass is this. So we want it to do, if nothing passes, just skip it, right? So we have to say if, we have to have an if something, then do something, right? This is basically what's going on here. If this, right, is true, then do what's, oh, I can get rid of that. If this statement returns true, which should do on the second time, then we're going to do something in this block. What are we going to do with this? We're going to return, what does it want us to return? Not just true, it wants us to return the element, right? Returns the first element, which if it's this is what we're testing, it's also the same thing we want to return, right? If the function is true, and now you don't, let's just run it. What happens? Returns 2. Let's see if that passes. I think we can make this a little better, but let's just see if it passes the test already. Yeah, okay, so but let's see. You know, you don't have to do, if you're just saying true, false, you don't even have to say if, right? You just say, get rid of that, get rid of one of these guys, and then we don't even need that then, or that. But that return needs to go over here, I think, then. No, that's not gonna work. That's not right. Alright, return, I guess, maybe this still needs to be in here if we do that. Well, maybe not. I thought there's a way to shorten that. What my point was that if you do something like this, as a newer programmer, I would have said function array I equals true, but you don't need to do that. If you just say the function, if it's already returning true or false, then you don't have to say if it's false. You just write it like this, and it automatically returns true or false. So I was trying to incorporate that into shortening this code, but this video is longer. We're trying to keep these videos short, so you get the point. Passed our test already. Let's just leave it at that. If this thing returns true, return. So why is it? Here's a good point though. Return, or I should say, a thing of note. It returns. Well, what about this one? Because it says return, it breaks out of the array. Once it gets here, it says it hits true. It's returning. It's done with this. It's saying I'm getting out of here, and then it just goes on to this next step down here, right? It's actually returning. It's done. Okay, it doesn't go on to check this one, because you might have thought that it would check this, get a true, like when we did console log. It showed false, true, false, true. Well, what about this? Why isn't it returning this? Because it doesn't ever evaluate these two. We hit the first one that hits true. It says, and since it's true, it's returning. It means it's also not only is it giving us the number back, but it's popping out of the loop. Okay, just thought I should note that. Okay, there's another one down.